Hello?
Hello. Hello, I'm here.
Y'all been calling me Cardi B? They're wigs. I mean, look. I don't want a guy that I work with to know I'm going to a vagina doctor. We having, I'll say, a debate.
Y'all, Cardi B just walked out of court victorious. But not before giving us one of the wildest celebrity trials we've seen in years. This case had everything: explosive accusations, bizarre questions from lawyers, dramatic courtroom, testimony, and, of course, a flood of memes that turned this very serious lawsuit into must-watch internet entertainment. From allegations that Cardi spit on and scratched a security guard while she was 4 months pregnant, to her being grilled about wigs and fingernails in front of a jury, this trial was pure chaos. And now that the jury has finally reached a verdict, we need to break down exactly what went down because it is messy. Let's rewind to February 2018. Cardi was just starting to skyrocket into superstardom. At the time, she was 4 months pregnant with her first child and doing her best to keep it private. She went to a doctor's appointment in New York, expecting a normal day, when things allegedly spiraled out of control. According to the plaintiff, a security guard named Amani Ellis, Cardi lost her temper during an encounter in the lobby of the building. Ellis claimed that Cardi hurled insults, spit on her, scratched her, and even physically attacked her. Ellis said this left her with emotional trauma and a scar on her cheek that she eventually had treated by a plastic surgeon. In 2020, Ellis filed a civil lawsuit against Cardi, seeking a staggering $24 million for assault, battery, emotional distress, negligence, and false imprisonment. That's right, $24 million over a single altercation. Now, Cardi didn't just deny these allegations, she completely flipped the script. From the very beginning, she has maintained that she never touched Ellis, insisting that the whole thing was a heated verbal confrontation that Ellis twisted into something much bigger. Cardi admitted there were harsh words exchanged, but according to her, the fight started because Ellis allegedly tried to film her as she arrived at the doctor's office. Cardi told the jury she was terrified someone would expose her pregnancy before she was ready to share it with the world. She testified that when she stepped out of an elevator, Ellis followed her down the hall while holding up a phone, refusing to back off. Cardi said she was scared and just wanted Ellis to get out of her face, especially because she was pregnant, and didn't want to risk any harm to her baby. Her legal team argued this entire lawsuit was nothing more than a cash grab and an attempt to damage Cardi's reputation. They painted Ellis as someone who changed her story multiple times and exaggerated events for financial gain. But here's where it gets really interesting. There were witnesses. 2 people who were present that day, a receptionist named Tiarara, Malcolm, and a doctor at the clinic, both testified that they never saw Cardi act aggressively or physically harm Ellis. In fact, they claimed it was Ellis who escalated the situation.
This girl decided to sue Cardi B for $24 million, okay, over an incident that seems to be entirely her fault. She hires an attorney to help her win her case, okay? And instead of helping her win her case, he has stood up there every day and embarrassed her more and more. And today he decides to get up to that podium and scream to the doctor witness that his client went to the doctor in 2022 for vaginal discharge. Now, I have never seen anything like this in my life, okay? An attorney with absolutely zero self-control. He wants to argue with every witness. He's arguing with the attorneys. He's arguing with the judge. And then he gets up there and tells the world, whoever wants to watch, your private health information. The attorney that you pay, okay? Not Cardi's attorney, your attorney. I couldn't imagine. I would have projectile vomited right there at that table. Because what do you mean?
According to Malcolm, she saw Ellis corner Cardi B, When she tried to get between them to calm things down, Ellis actually reached for Cardi, causing Malcolm herself to end up with a cut on her forehead. The doctor backed up this version of events, even stating that Ellis didn't have any visible facial injuries immediately after the incident. Both witnesses firmly told the jury they never saw Cardi lay a hand on Ellis. That testimony dealt a major blow to Ellis's case. But the trial didn't just revolve around serious allegations. It quickly became a circus. Thanks in large part to Cardi herself. Every single day, Cardi B's courtroom appearances went viral. Clips of her testimony spread across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram like wildfire. And honestly, some of these moments were hilarious. At one point, a lawyer asked her about changing her hair color, implying there might be something suspicious about her appearance. Cardi's response? They're wigs. Deadpan, no explanation, just wigs. The courtroom cracked up and the internet ran with it, turning it into meme after meme. Then came the questions about her fingernails. The lawyer actually had Cardi hold up her hands to show off the length of her nails, asking if they were sharp or pointy, and how long it would take her to switch to 3-inch long nails. Cardi answered patiently, but with plenty of sass, basically explaining her entire nail care routine to a jury in a federal court.
These are like glued on, so they will be a little bit quicker. Sometimes I do acrylic, which could last me on for 2 weeks. I will literally have to take like 2 hours to melt them off.
And if that wasn't wild enough, there was a moment when the lawyer asked Cardi if she was disabled. Cardi, who was pregnant at the time of the incident, replied,
when you're pregnant, I'm very disabled. You want me to tell you the things I can't do?
Fine.
The way she said it sent the entire courtroom into laughter. And naturally, the internet turned it into another viral moment. One of the strangest parts of the trial was when the lawyers debated who was physically bigger, Cardi or Ellis. They actually asked Cardi if she considered Ellis overweight and whether she had called her fat. Cardi didn't miss a beat, bluntly replying, absolutely, when asked if Ellis was bigger than her, before clarifying she wasn't trying to body shame her. By this point, it was clear that this wasn't just a legal battle. It was entertainment. Social media turned each day of testimony into a spectacle. People weren't just following the case for updates. They were tuning in like it was a reality show. Still, at the heart of all this chaos was a serious question. Did Cardi B physically attack this woman? Cardi remained firm throughout the trial, insisting that while there was a heated exchange, she never harmed Ellis. She described shouting at Ellis to back off and stop recording her, saying,
I want you to tell it to her face what you said on that day so she can hear it for herself
The objection
again.
is sustained.
But
You're
I
not
didn't.
disabled,
But I
right?
didn't because I had a baby inside me.
How did she
Time
know?
out, time out.
To protect myself, even if I wanted to. She's like twice my size.
No problem.
But she's not backing up. And we arguing, cursing at each other. I did call her the B word. I did call her a bitch. Like, bitch, get out of my face. I did say, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. You're in my face. You're screaming in my face.
She also made it clear that she was scared for her safety and her baby's safety in that moment. And when asked why she didn't retaliate physically, she gave a very Cardi B response. I didn't because I had a baby inside me. After weeks of viral moments, conflicting testimony, and intense courtroom drama, the jury finally reached a decision. And it was a huge victory for Cardi B. Yesterday afternoon, the verdict was announced. Cardi B was found not liable for assault, battery, emotional distress, negligence, or false imprisonment. In other words, the jury completely sided with her. Outside the courthouse, Cardi addressed the media, saying the trial had been extremely stressful and disruptive, especially since it happened right in the middle of her album rollout. She even revealed that she missed her child's first day of school because she had to be in court. And let's be real, while this trial was definitely an inconvenience for Cardi, it may end up boosting her career. The nonstop coverage, the viral memes, the trending courtroom clips, all of this has kept Cardi in the public eye right before. She drops her highly anticipated new album later this month. This isn't Cardi's first legal battle either. Back in 2019, she faced charges related to a strip club brawl, but ultimately pled guilty and moved on. She also famously won a $4 million defamation lawsuit against blogger Tasha K after false claims were made about her personal life. And of course, we all remember her very public feud with Nicki Minaj that ended with a shoe being thrown at a high-profile event. Cardi has always been a fighter, both in her music career and in the courtroom. So, what does this verdict mean for her? It solidifies her as someone who can weather any storm. Cardi walked into this trial with her reputation on the line and walked out not just innocent, but arguably more popular than ever. The memes will live on forever, the clips will continue, circulating online, and when her album drops, people will be paying attention like never before. But here's the big question. Was justice truly served, or was this just another example of celebrity privilege? No matter which side you fall on, there's no denying that this trial was unforgettable. Cardi B turned a potential career-ending lawsuit into one of the most talked-about pop culture moments of the year. And she did it with humor, style, and plenty of drama. What do you think really happened in that hallway back in 2018? Was Ellis telling the truth, or did Cardi B deserve this win? Let me know your thoughts, and stay tuned. Because if there's one thing we know about Cardi, it's that the drama is never really over. What you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. I love to read them, and don't forget to subscribe for more drama and Hollywood tea. Love you guys so much. Bye.